UNH has always been powered by possibilities and built for tomorrow. We cultivate adventurous thinkers, imaginative explorers, tenacious problem solvers, and dedicated stewards of society, culture, land, sea, and space. This is a place where people see beyond obstacles to push boundaries in ways our founders never imagined. Our students work with faculty members who serve on presidential commissions, win prestigious awards from Pulitzer Prizes to MacArthur Foundation Genius Grants, and are world-renowned in their fields. UNH graduates have gone on to lead countries, walk in outer space, receive the Medal of Honor, win an Oscar and the National Book Award, earn Super Bowl rings, and win Olympic gold. Wildcats are making a difference in their local communities and on the global stage. Their extraordinary achievements are rooted here at UNH.
We've never had a stronger university. We are, I think, on the brink of a real golden era at UNH.
Together, we are 150 years strong and counting.
And it's a good day to be a Wildcat.
Today, we celebrate the successes of yesterday and make a commitment to all the tomorrows of this great place. Now, it's our turn to think bigger, be bolder, and turn vision into action. It's our time to write the next 150 years of this story, our story. Let's write it together. Let's celebrate 150.
Number 2.
I pursued chemical engineering because of the energy
Number
facet
1.
of the field. I've always been interested in climate change. I grew up in a solar home. I experienced firsthand what having renewable energy was like, and also the challenges of the system that we currently have in place. The classes I've taken so far and my experience over the summer studying climate change definitely pushed me down that path. I've found that a lot of the opportunities that I've been fortunate to have been really presented to me. The faculty make a huge effort to kind of push resources to you, to open their doors so you can join their labs. I started undergraduate research this year. My project right now is looking at a specific type of catalyst that we might modify to make it more effective for methane conversion. And I also feel like it's giving me a lot of skills that I apply in my classes. I think as an undergrad, a lot of people don't have that, and it's super valuable. In my free time, I love to hike. I love being in the outdoors. I love College Woods. It's like a 2-minute walk from my dorm, so it's almost my backyard. I'm involved in the STEMbassadors group here at UNH. It's a group of students that provides outreach to K-12 students all around New Hampshire in engineering. I think being a female in STEM is really interesting because you feel outnumbered, but you also feel very challenged to step up and play a large role. I love seeing young girls excited about doing math and science. It's really fun to watch them kind of grow throughout the activity, and they have big smiles on their faces at the end of the day. The scholarships I've received to come to UNH have definitely opened doors that I would not have had access to otherwise. The Fulbright Summer Institute was a 4-week program in the UK. I took a course on climate change, and I also did a lot of field work. So I saw a huge range of research backgrounds and different perspectives on what climate change means and how they're measuring it, which helps me now as I move forward to thinking about how my engineering degree can help us fix the climate change issues. I definitely want to contribute to sustainable energy. It really encourages me to keep working hard to be a chemical engineer, to apply what I'm learning to save our planet and combat climate change. Looking around at the scenery, I want this to still be here in hundreds of years.
Imagine yourself at UNH's College of Engineering and Physical Sciences. With state-of-the-art centers and learning labs, you'll tackle real-world problems alongside award-winning professors. and you'll make a difference in your community and across the globe. Imagine this is your study hall, and this is your squad. Our graduates are in demand by employers. Learn it. Do it. Put yourself at the University of New Hampshire's College of Engineering and Physical Sciences.
Now taken away by Haslett, top of the shot, a shot to score! Kate Haslett off.
So balancing the life of a student athlete at UNH can be tricky. Being a Division I athlete is a full-time job. It's a long season playing hockey. It kind of carries over to both semesters, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I like to be busy and to be challenged. Hockey's kind of that escape sometimes for me. Ironically, coming into UNH, I didn't want to be an engineer, and it wasn't really on my sights. I was thinking environmental science. I knew I liked math, I knew I liked science, and wanted to stick in that field. Sophomore year, kind of fell in love with engineering, and the faculty here really had a passion, and I could see that. I haven't looked back since. I think I embraced both being that jock and being that nerd.
All rep, 5234.
I'm humbled to receive the nominee for the New Faces of Civil Engineering by the American Society of Civil Engineers. I was selected as one of 10 nominees. It's an international honor, and it's trying to show that engineering is accessible to anyone, and it's possible to be more than just an engineer. You can impact the field, but also be involved in your community and be involved with your university and all that it has to offer. I was fortunate enough to have the opportunity to do a summer undergraduate research fellowship through the Hamel Center here at UNH, and I conducted research on low and intermediate temperature of fracture properties on asphalt. It's all about trying to improve mix design, crack resistance, and ultimately trying to improve quality and durability and service life of roads. I think that the biggest thing is we hear, girls, engineering's not for you, or, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I can't handle it, it's too much pressure. I think I'm here because I represent that niche, and I'm trying to be that role model for those girls that you can do engineering and you can be an athlete and you can be so many other things, and that really the sky's the limit. I'm really grateful for all UNH has to offer, and I look forward to continuing to pursue as much as I can in my time here.
Liftoff of the Atlas V with MMS.
This data set is so revolutionary that I think we'll be mining it for 50 years. MMS was uniquely designed to answer a central question in what we call space plasma physics, is what is the process that seems to be able to release rapidly the energy stored in the magnetic fields. The release of this energy creates very energetic particles, and these energetic particles destroy electronics, people, materials, and what we're trying to understand is how that process creates those particles so that in the end we may be able to predict those events and to take steps to protect our space assets, power grids, and astronauts. We were in charge of what is called the field suite, which is the largest suite and about half of all the instrumentation on all the 4 spacecraft. We had to go measure the magnetic fields and electric fields. We watch the data as it comes in the instruments via this feed.
This was a huge opportunity for UNH. The Space Science Center has a 60-year history of developing instrumentation for space science investigations. What MMS presented was the resources to tackle a very, very large problem. MMS, when it was established as a research contract from NASA to the university, was, and probably still is, the largest single research contract ever awarded to UNH. The infrastructure was here, the culture was here, and the talent was here.
I'm really involved in the cross-calibration of all of the instruments and in data processing for the electron drift instrument. And as an early career scientist, it's very fun to be able to see my name on papers in collaboration with other people that are really at the forefront of space physics.
One conversation that I'll never forget that I had with Roy, it was after the instruments were turned on, and it was clear that the measurements were as good as they had hoped, and even better than they had hoped. And Roy said, all my life, all my adult life, I wanted these instruments on this orbit. And I've got it. It was really quite a memorable statement. And and we as the managers and engineers who had a part of that
no level.
derive a great satisfaction from that.
Since the beginning of the space race, essentially, UNH has been part of space exploration, and being part of many of the satellite missions leading up to MMS and beyond really puts UNH at the forefront of space exploration and space science.
We
are in the flow physics facility, which is the world's largest flow physics quality turbulent boundary layer wind tunnel. There's a huge amount of energy lost all the time to turbulent processes that, if managed better, would amount to a great energy savings. We can investigate what causes drag on your car or a ship or an airplane, and as we better understand how this works, we can mitigate these things and improve, for example, engineered surfaces to develop things that have less drag and hence lower energy consumption.
106. 1, 2, 2, 1, 1. There
400
you go.
RPM. 500. Okay.
There you
this
go.
Is 600
1,
RPM.
2.
They reach the orbit chute and then they stabilize. This is only about 15 miles per hour. The cool thing about these fans are that those two VFDs down there are something like 340 amps each. It's a huge amount of power.
We are investigating the energy transport mechanisms in large offshore wind farms. What you have here is an array of about 100 scaled model wind turbines.
So what we're looking at is how to optimize bulk performance electrically of these arrays using fluid dynamics. What we could do here in terms of the renewable energy aspect is provide benchmark data sets for modelers so that when future large arrays of wind turbines are installed, they will have the knowledge of where these should go, how they should be placed, and that will in turn optimize the bulk power production. And everyone likes cheaper energy.
The wind speed in this facility is not very high by design. The maximum speed is only a little bit over 30 miles per hour, and that is done so that the smallest scales within the flow remain large enough so that we can measure them with existing instrumentation. It is also called the big and slow approach. The tunnel has to be this long so these scales remain large.
The flow physics facility is the largest boundary layer wind tunnel in the world, so to have the largest wind tunnel in New England is pretty cool. To have the largest one of its type in the world is awesome.
It was like a Saturday morning, back when I was 14 years old, and my mom said, "Sid, wake up. Do you want to go to America?" And I was like, "No, I just want to sleep." Then she told me more about this incredible opportunity of being an exchange student. And I thought, okay, cool, I'll be in New York or I'll go to Boston, big cities, lots of fun. And I ended up in Lancaster, New Hampshire, which is a small town of 2,000 people. Really cold and dry, completely opposite from Mumbai, India, but I loved it. It was the best year of my life. I stayed with an amazing host family. And so during spring break of that year, I decided to visit colleges with my host father, and UNH was one of them. In this room itself, Professor Kinsey told us about the plethora of opportunities that undergrads have to do research, which was unheard of in some of the other bigger universities. So that really pushed me towards coming to UNH. One thing that I've been really proud of my time at UNH has been the involvements. I applied to become a resident assistant so that I could have an impact on first-year students and second-year students and tell them, hey, this place can be home for you. Let me show you how. One of the groups that I'm really passionate about is the Indian Subcontinent Students Association. We organize Diwali, Festival of Lights. We also started a new tradition called Holi, Festival of Colors. We want to show UNH how beautiful and vivid our culture is. Starting my first year, I was really passionate about international development, especially in developing nations. So I really started looking at different orgs that do work in developing nations and Engineers Without Borders was one of them. I was fortunate enough to travel down to Peru and implement a water project there. Just seeing that really renewed my passion in sustainable engineering. We started working on Project Oasis, which is optimizing aquaponic systems. We wanted to bring these aquaponic systems to developing nations to tackle the problems of hunger and food insecurity. One of the biggest reasons why I could come to UNH was through the generous donations and the scholarships that I received. For me, it was virtually impossible to attend a university in America based on the income of my family back at home. You know, converting rupees to dollars is not a good statistic. So these scholarships not only helped me improve my academics, but they also enabled me to impact different students. And through them, they impacted other students. You know, starting different organizations, being president of 3 orgs. All of this has really been possible through the generous donations of all the donors. And you know, meeting them at different events is just so overwhelming because I see the people that are selflessly giving to us, giving to students like me, and changing our lives. And they're just so incredibly humble about it too. One thing that's really tough about being an international student is the distance from home. I'm really close and attached with my mother, and so to be able to see her only twice over my entire career at UNH has been incredibly difficult. Oh my God, they're here. Ma! I was so excited to see my parents after a year and a half, and it has been incredible to show them around UNH and show them my home, basically, in America. One of the things I'm most excited about for my parents to see is the honors convocation, because it'll be the first time that they'll actually see me go up on stage, recognized for my efforts at UNH.
Siddharth Nigam.
Having my parents be there, as opposed to sending a picture on Facebook, is going to be huge for me. There are so many things that I'll miss about UNH.
Check.
As soon as I leave, I know I'm going to miss not just the food at HOCO, but the people, the professors, the students. I'll miss all my best friends, Mimantha, Paige, Eden, all the hall directors that I've worked with in the past. I'll miss Kingsbury, as sad as it is to say that. Really, the organizations that I've been involved in, and seeing students from the orgs week after week, I'll miss that a lot. The people that made my life so incredible.
I'm trying to see how my voice is. Check. Good morning. Good morning.
Coming to college is a huge transition, and the FIRE program made it a lot easier to come into the school, find a place where I belong, get to know friends and different faculty members who have been able to help me out along the way.
I think the program itself is really beneficial in helping us practice skills that are going to be applicable for the rest of college and beyond.
So the FIRE program is a freshman academic experience transition course. Hall College is the only college at UNH and really in the country that's doing something like this. So in the first semester, it's mostly transition and academic success. They're matched with an upperclassman peer advisor, a small group of 20 to 25 students. They also have an alumni advisor to introduce them to the vast UNH alumni network.
I think that's one of the best parts of this FIRE program, and they're just great people that are there for you and want you to succeed.
My peer advisor is Sarah Carlson, and she's been a hockey player for the last 4 years here at UNH.
It's really great that there's students leading other students. I think it's really cool being a senior here and being able to teach them and help them through everything that happens their freshman year.
She's really made it known that being an athlete and going through a really prestigious business school is completely possible.
In the spring semester, we developed these events around building those career skills in a low-risk environment. So we created this mocktail networking reception. We also hosted a career fair boot camp where they were able to pick sessions that they wanted to go to, learn from actual HR recruiters and young alums, and prepare them for the career and internship fair.
I'm Ryan. Scott. Nice to meet you.
What's unique about the FIRE program is that we've created this year-long Grand Challenge project.
We're taking topics that are very current in society and we're creating products or services that fulfill the needs of those issues, doing research on them, creating business plans and posters that we're actually able to present at the undergraduate research conference in April.
In which operators can control light, temperature.
Being part of the FIRE program has allowed me to create relationships within Paul that I never would have. Those types of things are what will propel me forward here in the school.
I think what we've already started to hear is how grateful they are for the opportunities that they are given. We want to make sure that they're not only getting a great business education, but they are getting involved on campus and that they are really being able to think from a variety of different perspectives, because that's ultimately what employers want. And that's ultimately our goal, is to help them succeed in the classroom, but also prepare them for life outside of UNH.
No, we're good. I've just been blown away by the phenomenal opportunities I've had here at UNH. I'm from Londonderry, New Hampshire, so UNH was pretty close by, and I'd always thought of UNH as the state school that everyone went to. But as I looked more into the UNH program, I realized that the mechanical engineering department is really strong. They're one of the top undergraduate research institutions in the nation. And then I was offered a full-ride scholarship to come here, and so that kind of sealed the deal.
The biggest benefit of a scholarship, it allows a young person to open up vistas to them, but then the life of the scholarship is their life. In contrast to a donation, to even buildings don't last as long as the young people will be alive and active and contribute to society in New Hampshire and to the University of New Hampshire over time. The University of New Hampshire is probably the most important asset of the state.
For calibration, is that doing the mass dropping, or is that
She
the
definitely appreciates education and tries to get every ounce of value that she can out of UNH and everything it has to offer.
Yeah, I think getting involved outside the classroom is really key. You can take this book knowledge, but then being able to apply it to the real world adds a whole new dimension. I've been able to go perform research at a university in Germany. I was able to study on a Fulbright Summer Institute in Wales. I got to go to Uganda with Engineers Without Borders. Just this past month, I went to China, to Beijing, to represent UNH at an engineering conference.
When you have someone as talented as Paige, she's going to have probably more opportunities than she can take advantage of, and her real challenge will be, out of all the things offered to her, which one she actually picks.
5 to 10 years from now, I hope to be working for an engineering company or a nonprofit or social enterprise, working in a developing nation, applying engineering skills. I'm really interested in food security problems and using engineering to help provide adequate food sources to people in developing nations.
I think she likes to be able to produce something that will benefit mankind, whether it's one person or millions of people.
Really fun to see them and see what they're doing, and people like Paige who have done all kinds of great things.
If I could talk to donors, I would say thank you so much for your support. It really means a lot to me and to other UNH students. I know their generous support has helped students be able to get a college education who would not otherwise be able to, and helps keep exceptional students here in New Hampshire being able to help prepare the next generation of leaders for our state.
You don't have to visit the University of New Hampshire to see what we do. You can see it in our state's coastline, in our farms and forests, and our towns and cities. This is where you'll see the things we do that touch the lives of people throughout the state. For 150 years, UNH has been proudly protecting our resources and powering the state's economy. We're more than a campus. We are the University of New Hampshire, the state's flagship research university.
You had 5 milliliters each of the 4 test tubes.
Students are synthesizing bis-2,4,6 trichlorophenol oxalate, which is a starting material for their light reaction. It's a very fun chemiluminescence experiment because they get to create light similar to glow sticks while learning a lot of chemistry concepts that are involved in the process. with acid-base chemistry, esterification reactions, and so they enjoy creating pretty colors while learning some chemistry concepts.
Yeah, is this the water rinse?
Yeah.
They're collecting the various reagents and they're going back to their hoods, they're combining them, and they do a reflux reaction. After doing the reflux, they will filter their precipitate and they purify it. Once they're sufficiently pure, then they go ahead and take small amounts of that and combine it with other reagents that generates the light. And then there are special dyes that gives them different colors for their lights.
That's cool. That is cool. I'm happy that it worked. That's really cool. I like the colors.
We immigrated from Indonesia to the States. Around 3rd grade, I moved to New Hampshire. Went to Spalding High School in Rochester, about 20 minutes away from here. I had my sights set on the school in Boston. I wanted to go to college in the city. But then I realized shortly thereafter that my family just couldn't afford to go to school in Boston. And I just made the decision to not attend such an expensive school. And one of the main factors in that was my little brother, who's 4 years younger than me. He'd be going to college soon after I graduate. Because of the financial assistance and the scholarships that I received from UNH, it was the best financial decision for me as well as my family. The biggest one is the Hamill Scholarship, and that's really, made my time here at UNH possible. I literally wouldn't be here without them. I'm now a double major in mathematics and philosophy. I'm involved in SACE, which is the Society of Asian Scientists and Engineers, as well as Socratic Society, which is an org that I co-founded with my friend that leads to discuss pertinent topics in today's society. I've gone through a series of changes during my time here at UNH. First year, the impact that UNH had on me was really seen through leadership camp, and it really formed me as a leader, and it really was the foundation of the leadership that I have here at UNH. And then after that, I became an orientation leader as well as an RA. Oh, no. Part of my love of being an RA is, it lies within that love of giving back to the community and helping to help people assimilate to the college culture.
And it's because of UNH that I've been able to have these amazing experiences. And donor support was one of the reasons I chose to come here.
One of the things that I realized from getting a lot of these scholarships is that I need to give back to the community one way or another. Part of the reason that I help talk to these alumni and spread the word of the effects that they had on me is to show them the effects of their investment of the university. And I think both parties enjoy it because, one, I get to tell them, how I've done with the opportunity that they've given me, and on their side, they get to see, okay, this is actually having an effect and an impact on people's lives.
Relationships are really the fundamental of good teaching in my mind. That evolves around having respect for the students, understanding that they're adults. I treat them as adults.
16.
A lot of the stuff I do in research I try to bring into my class. My undergraduate course, I really try to bring in real-world problems. I try to give them ideas about things that I've done and experiences I've had, and I try to relate that to really what I'm teaching. And I think the students respond to that. It's engineering after all. So when they see a reason for it, they're much more inclined to be interested in it and also to learn it.
What I like about Professor Fossel's classes is the homework, the coursework, and his reputation is that he is giving you very hard homeworks, and it's not fun. This is an advantage for him. Everyone likes it. After you do the homework, it's this magic that you feel like, oh, I did it. So you basically know that you feel that you learned a lot. You've learned a lot.
Some of my research has been in electromechanical, and in the last 10 or 15 years I've been doing more manufacturing-related work. And in there we're looking at how to make NC machines. These are machines that cut metal parts. We're learning how to make those smarter. I get very excited about students learning how to do research, about them really sort of progressing in their abilities to handle difficult problems. And to me, that's my output is the students. And that's what I get excited about, is to seeing them learn and get excited about the material. And I don't get tired of that.
He's at the school every day, 8 in the morning, rain and shine. He has all this gear, biking gear, even in the snow. 8 a.m. He's here with his bike.
So I was a little surprised when I won it. You know, how I compare to other teachers in the university, I have to believe that there's many teachers that are, equally as good. So I'm humble about it. I appreciate it. And I think it's recognition for the years of effort and work I put in.
Right after Hurricane Katrina and Rita came through, a barge hit an old wellhead, and the barge had a heavy oil in it. This was off Texas, and the oil just went right to the bottom. And really, we never found where the oil went because it was moving under the water along the bottom, no data, no way of predicting where it would go.
This is our oil flume. It's a big circular tank that we can fill with water. So when there's an oil spill and the oil sinks to the bottom, we want to know how far it moves, how fast it moves to kind of measure the transport of it. We've got two oils that we use. This is the Alberta bitumen from Canada, really thick, super viscous, as you can see. It moves very slow. And that's where we place it on the grids before we run a test. And this is a number 6 oil from Albany, New York. It's a lot more runny. Then we'll take the grid and we'll put it in the bottom of the tank, and we'll set that right under the Vectrino that measures the velocity. And we'll set up the 2 cameras so that they're monitoring, they're both shooting a top view and a side view of the oil. And then we'll turn on the motor and let it run for about an hour.
Collectively, we're working on it all together, but we've each taken our own roles. I've been involved in doing a lot of the runs to get the data and the filming.
So we look at all the videos, so hours of footage, and analyze how far the oil has moved, which we can see from the grids in the background. We also count the number of erosions that occur and write down the times they occur. We're trying to find the rate at which the oil moves and the rate that the erosions occur and see if there's any correlation to temperature, salinity, or velocity of the water.
The Vectrino system is a computer program that uses the 4 prongs that have sensors on them on the Vectrino physically itself, and they measure horizontal and vertical velocities using those 4 prongs, and it shows up on the data here.
Eventually, we put it all together and we run it through a program and we generate graphs that'll show us, this graph shows the lengthening percentage of the oil versus velocity and temperature of the water.
This research is going to be giving us the data that the students are collecting and analyzing and producing those graphs that help agencies such as NOAA come up with equations that can then predict what the oil would do so that they can use a model to say, okay, we think the oil will have moved to this point. And then that's where you can send your devices out to then survey and see if the oil is there, and if it is, then collect it. But right now, we're flying blind.
There's always more research to be done. It never really stops. So we try to pretty much replicate as many situations, I guess, as possible, just so that we have that data to apply to real-life events.
It's been really exciting to get involved in environmental engineering as a student and see where the chemistry class comes in and where the math classes are going to count.
One of the big differences about UNH from many universities is that if a student wants to do research with a professor, with the actual professor, they can do that here. Okay. I think it really puts a different spin on it when they can interact with a professor and not just think of a professor as being someone up in the class who's, frumpy with their glasses on their nose and everything like that. But I love it. It's what makes me happy about working with students.
Here at Tech Camp. The goal of the project is to bring a well-rounded STEM experience for these kids, and that includes areas of problem solving, design, and programming.
Camp happens on the UNH campus, which gives campers the opportunity to benefit from the resources of a public land-grant university. Campers engage in what we call project-based learning, which means that they're trying to solve a complex, authentic problem. So that type of problem is something that takes a long time to solve because you go through different prototypes, different ideas, and the week-long or 2-week-long experience gives them that time. It also gives them time to connect with other kids that are also interested in science and engineering.
As a project leader, we hope that these kids will take away the inspiration and confidence to pursue STEM fields in the future and be STEM role models for their peers as they go forward in their academic and professional careers.
Today we finished wiring our robot, which is an omnidirectional robot, as in it'll move in all 4 directions, and we got to see it in motion. When I grow up, I would like to either be a doctor or a software engineer.
Our camp is also a community of people from all stages of the STEM pipeline. It benefits professionals in science and engineering because they have the opportunity to impact the community by becoming involved in the camp and helping students learn about science and engineering.
Today we hosted the North Country STEM Fest, which was the first time that the College of Engineering and Physical Sciences undertook this large of an outreach opportunity. So what we had here was over 200 students from the North Country from 10 different schools up here, and about 30 to 35 teachers get experience to anywhere between 2 to 3 hands-on STEM activities.
I was very excited to hear that we were coming to this part of the state to do outreach. When I was in high school and middle school, I didn't get a lot of exposure to science and engineering, and I think it is absolutely awesome that we can expose these kids to these types of activities and these types of ways of thinking.
So when we tilt these, not only do you have a force this way, but you start to get a force that goes in that direction.
Our activity today was wind turbines. So they developed the blades, and then what they're able to do is mount them onto the turbine, and then we had a box fan set up.
Okay, here we go. Test number 3.
And I was able to test it, and we had a voltmeter so they could measure the power out of it. So once it spun or didn't spun, they were able to modify their design.
We had a couple of groups of 4th, 5th, and 6th graders making bouncy balls. So this is a unit that has them explore properties of matter and how to make and or change matter.
Do you think that could hold the hockey puck? Oh! My activity was actually about geotechnical engineering, so how to make sure buildings are able to be built in a stable way. So what we had them do was we had each group have a Jenga set.
Don't touch your foundation layers, take a look at your soil layers.
And then we also gave them different layers of fabrics. So they were able to rearrange the fabrics, which acted as different types of soil. Just seeing their creativity was amazing, and all the different designs that they had come up with was really cool.
As a member of the Governor's Task Force, we highlighted 8 recommendations to use throughout the state. And what we saw today, and what I saw today, was actually the implementation of those 8 recommendations put to use.
Oh, you're right.
We're engaging students, we're engaging teachers, we're working together with higher ed and K-12 educators. We're learning hands-on, we're tying in science, mathematics, language arts. Great stuff today.
Certainly in SEPS, there's a lot of mechanical engineers, so it's been a lot of fun to work with chemical engineers, electrical engineers, computer science majors, and really see the kids get excited about all the different types of majors. When I was coming through high school, I really didn't understand all the different majors, so to be able to bring this wide variety of students up is really beneficial.
Faster. The kids' excitement on their faces, just the sheer enjoyment in having them engage in hands-on projects was a really good experience. So what we want to do is help them facilitate how do we bring that to your classroom so that it happens every day and not just on a day like this.
Even though they might just think it's fun, I think at the end of the day they'll take away some methods of thinking and problem solving and group work that they don't even realize, but they will apply in their everyday life.
So this is one of the 3 3D printers that we have available, and it gets used for a wide range of applications. Mechanical engineers designed airfoils to be tested in a wind tunnel for lift and drag. So this is our heavy-duty sewing machine. It's called a Sailrite sewing machine, as its purpose is for sewing sails, and as you can see, it sews some pretty thick, heavy-duty vinyl. Epilog Mini 18 40-watt CO2 laser cutter engraver. It's capable of cutting up to a 1/4 inch wood or acrylic. It also produces really high resolution images engraved into materials. So this is a vinyl cutter. It's used for cutting out patterns in either adhesive-backed or heat transfer vinyl to make banners like this UNH sticker. So we have an electronics workstation here with a ground static pad. We have breadboards, electronic components. We have lots of Raspberry Pis and Arduinos, physical computer systems. We have a design workstation, which was spec'd out by some of the early volunteers who are computer hardware engineers. Don't ask me about it, but I think it's pretty powerful. A Millennium Falcon. And Skittles and M&Ms, I think, are pretty important to point out.
That one is half done. This one is actually just started, yeah.
The PlugFest is an event where people from different companies fly in from all across the United States, all across the world even, bringing their products here to the IOL, and we've got our UNH students in the room working with them, performing testing, finding bugs, finding problems, and fixing them.
If you have a retest, when were you expecting to be able to do that?
So that's an opportunity that I think is really unique to what happens here at the IOL.
This is my first PlugFest. The first day was very chaotic because I was very intimidated and overwhelmed by how many vendors were bombarding me with questions and bombarding me with test requests. So if you want to do the Tau AIC, however, by today, the 3rd day, it's in fact so smooth I'm actually ahead of my testing, which is how I'm able to be interviewed right now.
Intel, Samsung, Dell, Cisco, those are all companies that work with the IOL, all companies that have come to our PlugFest. And the experience that our students get working with those companies, working at the PlugFest, is something that employers find very attractive, that these students have skills and they have ability and they know people at those companies. And so that's a really nice way for them to kind of get their foot in the door.
I'm doing a lot of networking today, and I don't even mean technological networking, I mean professional networking.
I was an enterprise IT architect for over 20 years. So there's a good opportunity for the students to learn from veterans like myself. And there's also a really good opportunity for veterans like myself to learn new things from the students, because quite frankly, oftentimes they knew new things and new ways to do things that I haven't thought about in 20 years.
That's awesome.
That's the neat thing about working at the IOL is as new technologies come out, a lot of them end up passing through the IOL or trying to have some kind of effort founded at the IOL. And so we get to participate in that. So we're always doing something new, which is really interesting.
It is really cool to test the new technology that comes out before the public even knows about it. The frustrating part of it is not being able to talk about it once you go home at night. You know, your family will say, "Oh, what did you do at work today?" I did a lot of cool things that I can't tell you about, but I love that.
To have that right here on the UNH campus, right here in downtown Durham, and have it be kind of part of the students' day-to-day lives for the students that work here and work on something that's really special and really unique is an incredible resource that the university has.
This week is the week for the freshmen, and it's a really fun experience for everyone, for the leaders and for the freshmen. We do canoeing and we go hiking for a day. We spend time at base camp, there's backpacking, there's another trip that goes out and they all hike in the White Mountains. We camp out in tents and kind of get to know each other. We're all in small groups of 8 to 10 people, and each group has 2 leaders.
Are you ready for the next level? Yeah! Awesome. Everybody get on pause.
I chose to participate in PAWS because my older brother, Adam, is actually a leader here, and he came last year and met like a bunch of friends, so it was really nice for him going into college knowing people, so kind of wanted that same experience.
Put your legs on either, on like the other part of the. Am I allowed to?
It's a lot of close groups and like it's a lot of fun. There's never like a dull moment. Everyone's always like laughing.
Steam powered, steam powered, steam powered. Steam powered, steam powered, steam powered. So you'd like to know about steampunk, would you, teens? Well, I suppose I can teach you a thing or two. If you're all about steam and brass and all you need to depart is a team and a task, sharp set of gears and a gleaming arc, competitive robots seeking the start. If you're all about reaching far, seeking the game on secret charts, meeting in secret beneath the stars, loaded with pizza and feeling smart. If you're making a robot army marching armed for starting a party, something so wondrous, and a specially constructed electrical bus so thunderous. Don't come to fuss, got a wanderlust and you're one of us. We bump steampunk, need one of these, jump free power, free fun, here come the steampunk. Steam powered, steam powered, steam powered, steam powered, steam powered, steam powered, steam powered. Just bring your plans and plots and schemes. We've got the mechanics if you've got the dreams. All people, countries, cultures, teams. Welcome one and all to the age of steam. Keep it courteous, professional, worth it to work together in the first teamwork. The future of technology is all that it seems. Welcome one and all to the age of steam. Steam powered, steam powered, steam powered. Steam powered, steam powered, steam powered. We are looking forward in time, pushing past certain factory grime. All other groups to the back of the line. We are the future, in fact, divine. Gleaming machinery is seen to be reckoned with. Every single member an excellent gentleman or lady, creating, leading a steamship in between T-ships. Because the people need this. You see, we're taking care of our crew like we do our facial hair. Be made aware when making improvements. Don't call it a scene, it's more of a movement, more of an era. Clearing the air, taking over, nearly there. Students, coaches, mentors, teams, welcome one and all to the age of steam.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back your Steamworks Master of Ceremonies, the inimitable Doctor of Drones, Mr. David Price.
Yeah! Good morning, New Hampshire! Oh! Yesterday was the most amazing day down here on this playing field. We saw the teams that won all the district events score even more points yesterday, and I know some of the teams were frustrated, but we've got 22 more qualifying matches, and this is the day we're going to rock the house. Are you ready? Ah! I am so excited for this morning. We have probably the best lineup of speakers today that I am just so amazed that they're here. Not too amazed, but I'm just so happy that they're here again. But I want to talk to you about this, what your teams have gone through this past season. We all do first because I think maybe in the front part of our brain, it's something that's really, really fun. But we know we can justify the funness of first because what first is also, it's the skills that it teaches us. When you guys are here in the field and your robot's not working well, I will never deny you the fact that your problems are real. Your robot doesn't work, it doesn't climb, you made a change and the change was wrong. Those problems are very real to you, even though you still do this because it's fun. And for the coaches and mentors, you're worried about raising enough money, you hate to continue to ask parents to cut a check to help the teams come here to these different events, but you know that the value in this is real. You know that the students on your team, they're learning business plans. They're learning the early stages of patenting an idea or a thing. They're learning about working together as a team and building something that's successful, and learning the even harder lesson that sometimes if you build something, it might not work as well as you thought it was going to in theory. You guys are learning in high school skills that there are people in their 40s and 50s that still haven't learned those skills. But here you are at 15, 16, 17, 18 years of age, and you guys have learned that it's so much more than robots. In fact, I think it's about this.
This isn't a robot. It very well may have hydraulic arms, a drivetrain, and a circuit board, but this isn't a robot. This is a lesson in humility, hard work, and collaboration. This is a CrossFit workout for the muscle upstairs. This is an apple for the next generation of Newtons. It's a lot of things, but this isn't a robot. This is a roadmap that leads straight to engineering. This is a rock to shatter 1,000 glass ceilings, a rope to pull a generation up and out of poverty, a sledgehammer to break down cultural barriers, and a universal language spoken in every nation on Earth. And because of that, this is a compass that can help point the way to peace. But please, don't think this is just a robot. This is Glastonbury for technology. This is mission control for the next moonshot. This is the Rosetta Stone to help translate the future. This is the sport that will help us win tomorrow. This is the software to program ourselves to cure cancer, build a clean engine, or step foot on Mars. But this isn't a robot. It's a machine to build the people who will change the world.
Wow. That still is, I think, the best video I've ever seen First make. Doing his part to change the world. And he is a part of the team that hosted this event here at this absolutely beautiful venue, this Whittemore Center at the University of New Hampshire. He is the Dean of the College of Engineering and Physical Science. If you go to UNH, you know this guy as Dr. Z. Let's welcome Dr. Charles Zerker.
Well, thank you for that very unusual introduction. I've never been quite introduced in that same way. I was blown away by that video. I don't think I've seen something that is so inspiring. It's a little hard to follow that. On behalf of the College of Engineering and Physical Sciences and the University of New Hampshire, I'd like to welcome you here to the Whittemore Center for the first robotics competition. We're thrilled to have you here today. I had the chance to walk around the building yesterday, sensing some of the energy, seeing some of the passion, and I was just incredibly impressed by the dedication of all the people involved in this event. Before I go on and say a few words about the university and the College of Engineering and Physical Sciences, I do want to acknowledge all the energy and effort that's been put into running this event. Hundreds of volunteers have invested countless hours in making this event something that not only works smoothly, but is quite memorable. So on behalf of the college, I'd like to thank all of the volunteers for all the effort and energy and time they put into making this event work. Please join me in thanking them. I'd also like to recognize the mentors who are part and parcel of the training that the students encounter in this event. The investment of time and energy they place into the students and into the teams is the reason why we're here today. Without them, First Robotics would not have the chance of being the kind of event that it is. And once again, join me in thanking all the mentors for the time and energy they've placed. The College of Engineering and Physical Sciences at UNH takes pride in training the next generation of mathematicians, scientists, and engineers. The University of New Hampshire is one of the few institutions around the country that is not only a land grant institution, but also a space grant and a sea grant institution. What that means is that if you come to UNH, you have the opportunity to work on projects that launch satellites into space, probe the depths of the ocean, map the ocean floor, and serve the state of New Hampshire and the world. We're very proud of the programs we have here at the university, and we'd love to expose you to some of those programs if you have the opportunity today or in the future. I know you've experienced this beautiful athletic facility. I'd just like to say that I hope you've had the opportunity to get outside of the Whittemore Center and walk around the campus. We have some wonderful science and engineering facilities here. We're opening the John Olson Advanced Manufacturing Center in the fall. An expansion to our Ocean Engineering building will be opened in the fall. And we have the largest wind tunnel in the northeast of the United States. We have wonderful facilities here, great opportunities for students who are interested in science, math, and engineering, and we'd love to interact with you in the future. On behalf of the College of Engineering and Physical Sciences at UNH, we welcome you here. We're pleased you're here, and we hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, Dr. Z. And I don't know if Dr. Z was aware of this. I'm going to make this really important plug. There is going to be a tour today of the campus at 12:30. I know we're in our qualifying rounds, but if you can even get off for a few minutes and go out and do the tour, this campus is so worth walking around. I love it here. I just love all the energy on this campus. We have, before I introduce my next two speakers, I want to read a letter to you. This came to us just a couple days ago from Anne McLean Custer. She's one of the congresspeople from New Hampshire, and she's very upset that she couldn't be here today, but she wanted me to read you this letter. And she writes, "Dear friends, thank you for the invitation to join you during the First Robotics New England District Championships. While I'm unable to attend, please know that my thoughts are with you during this exciting event. First Robotics fosters a competitive opportunity for students interested in science and technology. Through the program, students gain valuable skills such as problem solving, teamwork, critical thinking, and hands-on learning. I will continue to champion programs that support the critical STEM fields through my work in Congress. On behalf of my constituents across New Hampshire's 2nd Congressional District, thank you for all that you do to make New Hampshire a great place to live, work, and raise a family. Best wishes on your competition, and all the best in your future successes. Sincerely, Anne McLean Custer. Congresswoman Custer, wherever you are, thank you so much." And now I'm excited to introduce two, and I hope this is okay for me to say, two of my favorite people in New Hampshire. The first person, and I guess it's still recent, he just took on his job at the start of the year as a Commissioner of Education, and he, ready for this? He has not missed a single FIRST event in New Hampshire. This guy is so involved. He loves FIRST. Let's welcome the one and only, the great Frank Edelblue. Love you.
Thank you so much, and I'm so excited to be here. I mean, we have had a great tournament already, and I know that today is going to be an excellent day for you. We have thanked our parents, we have thanked our mentors, we have thanked our volunteers. Can I have a big congratulations now for all of the teams that qualified for this tournament? I know that all of you have been working diligently to tune your robots. You have been scouting and you have been finding alliance partners. Today is a very, very big day for you. And so I just want to encourage each of you to focus, stay in the game, and continue to work with your teams to encourage each other in this. This activity that you are undertaking here is the intersection of education and really the work environments that are going to present themselves to you. And that's a good reason to do this, but that's not the best reason. The best reason is because you are going to have so much fun today. Thank you so much, and good luck today in the competition.
Thank you, Commissioner. So I lived all over New England, but I have to be honest, I am a live free or die guy. That's what's in my blood. I am. And our next speaker, in every position she's had representing the state of New Hampshire, every time she has her feet on New Hampshire soil, she finds her way to get to a first robotics event. I have known her for years, and while I don't live in New Hampshire at this moment, she is and always will be my senator. Let's welcome Senator Maggie Hassan.
Thank you, David Price. Let's give it up for the wonderful David Price, who just does a terrific job. Okay, so I'm going to do this from south to north. Who's here from Connecticut? All right. Who's here from Rhode Island? Massachusetts? Vermont? Okay, Green State. Maine. And last but not least, the Granite State. Who do we have here? Okay. It is great to see you. I am so grateful to UNH, to President Huddleston, to Dean Z for hosting all of you here. It is so great to be here with Commissioner Edelblut, to the parents, to the mentors, to the coaches, to the volunteers from the private sector who are here. Thank you. But most of all, thank you to all of the students who are here. You know, when I was going to high school, I graduated a little over 40 years ago, people tended to think that you were either good at math, science, technology, or you weren't. That it was one of these kind of things that just nature separated us. What we know, and what's especially important about FIRST Robotics, is that that's not true. That the STEM skills are skills you can learn, and to have the kind of STEM leadership in our country and in our world that we need different kinds of thinkers, different kinds of learners to engage in STEM so we can innovate and we can lead the world in innovation. That's what this is all about. Now, it's important not just because that helps drive economic development and our quality of life, but it's important for all the reasons that you just saw in that video. I sit on 3 committees in the United States Senate. HELP, which is Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions. Now, on the HELP committee, we do things like deal with the pharmaceutical industry and figure out not only how we're going to incentivize innovation to help save lives, but also how we're going to make it affordable so everybody can have access to those innovations. On the Commerce Committee, Commerce, Science, and Transportation, right now we're wrestling with how do we integrate the technology that could bring us driverless vehicles in a safe way that, again, helps us get to the next level economically and in terms of quality of life. And on the Homeland Security and Government Oversight Committee, we're dealing with how do you go about, for instance, thinking about managing drones over our borders. These are all real-life issues that we are going to have to deal with, not only here at home, but internationally. I am so excited that you are all here to compete today because you are preparing yourselves and each other to be the kind of leaders that we are going to need to continue to lead as a country, but also to continue to improve the quality of life, not just for Americans, but for humankind. I was talking before the day started about what it's like to work in Washington. Look, we are the best, greatest democracy in the world. New Hampshire, I happen to believe, does democracy better than anywhere else. We engage with each other, we listen to each other, we have arguments, we have real disagreements, but then we find our common ground and we move forward. We do it at our best with the quality of gracious professionalism that you all work so hard to learn here at FIRST. But what is so important to all of us is that we all learn not only how to share our differences, but how to find common ground and solve problems. More than anything else, that's what FIRST Robotics is about. We need you all to prepare not only to be leaders in your fields and in the economy, but our democracy depends on people who are willing to work together, to accept and learn from disagreement, and then move forward to solve problems. That is the genius of our country. We were started by people who set out the basic principle that in the United States of America, every single person counts. Now, they didn't count everybody at first, right? But they had the confidence that every generation of Americans would work harder to make sure that we were including everybody in our civic and economic life, unleashing talent and energy the likes of which the world had never seen, which is good for the cause of human freedom and dignity, but also is what made us the greatest economy in the world, too. More than anything else, your work as the next generation of leaders is to find that way forward, to include more and more of your fellow citizens into the heart and soul of our democracy, our economy, and knowing that you do that, continuing to make sure that the United States of America leads and lives up not only to its reputation, but to the reality of being the greatest country on earth. Thank you so much. Go get them. Have fun today.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you. Senator Hassan. That was a very presidential speech, I will say. I'm just saying, I think you'd have some support. All right, I see all my pretty blue shirts. Let's have our judges stand up and let's give them a big round of applause. Without giving any hint to the age and experience that's sitting in front of me right now, we're talking over 100 years of experience in judging FRC events. You guys did absolutely an amazing job. I like your watch. Good job, good job, good job. And my hand just got like 20 IQ points higher. All right, where's Dana Henry? Okay, let's look at all the fluorescent hats. Let's give a big round of applause for Dana Henry. He's our lead robot inspector. And remember this, teams. Don't think you're done being inspected. You're going to get through your rounds. Don't start sandbag. Well, you don't want to sandbag your robot. You know what I'm saying. You want to, don't do little things, because remember, they are going to inspect the robots later on today. Finally, let's welcome out onto the floor team number 6763. They're going to present our national anthem.
Please rise, remove your hats, and join us in our national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly
Wait, stay here. 67-63, Team Fusion. All right, it's time to rock the house. Teams, start your robots.
Why? I said to these guys, you know how you know if you're a redneck? It's when you think the last line of the national anthem is "Gentlemen, start your engine."
What's this? You? Okay. Is that cool? That's fine. Over here, you, me. We're doing, we're going to do 11 and 11. We'll be done for this, and then we'll move into whatever we're doing after. Yeah, right? Well, the playoffs. Yeah. Wake up. Wake up. Happen to have 11 and 11. So we're starting oh, you know, that would be a real, oh, he's coming right now. So 107, so you'll go to 118. Okay. Just keep track, because I'll forget. I know. I'd rather do 10s. 10s are easier. So you go sideways. I go vertical. Everybody gets a good idea. I get more of an in there. You're right. Oh, you have ready to go, Dave. Rotation lock on. Yeah. I think that's how you do it. You're the master. Hey, how's it going? What are you doing here? Volunteering. Oh, we didn't qualify, so. I figured you were volunteering. Good, awesome. Yeah, we didn't climb well our first match, so toasted. Oh, well. Toasted. Toasted. All right. Well, it'll be a busy day. All right. I went to my home screen. No, we're good. I think it is. No, we're cool.
All right, James Lockman, we're going to 128 qualifying rounds. We're at match number 107. All right, James, let's welcome right now. They are the Bobcats, team number 177.
From South Windsor High School in South Windsor, Connecticut, in their 23rd season, Bobcat Robotics.
And in the center of the alliance, they love everything pie. Let's welcome 2067.
From the 4-H Youth Development Organization in Guilford, Connecticut, in their 11th season, Apple Pie.
And rounding out this alliance, let's welcome from Manchester, 131 Chaos.
From Manchester Central High School in 4-H Hillsborough County, New Hampshire, in Manchester, New Hampshire, in their 23rd season, Chaos.
All right, coming over to the Blue Alliance, let's welcome the Aluminum Falcons, 2168.
From the Robert E. Fitch High School in Groton, Connecticut, in their 11th season and currently holding the #1 position, Aluminum Falcons.
Wow, you guys are #1. No pressure. All right, let's welcome in yellow, they are Schrodinger's Cat, 3958.
From the Boston College High School in Boston, Massachusetts, in their 6th season, Schrodinger's Cat.
I like seeing you. Let's welcome Team 5813 Morpheus.
From the Neighborhood Group in Concord, New Hampshire, in their 2nd season, Morpheus.
All right, pilots prepare for flight. Drivers behind the line. And 3, 2, 1, go.
Bobcat and the Falcons looking to deliver gears. Looks like that's going to work for Blue Alliance. Red Alliance looking at 2 gears and fuel in the boiler. So we see 8 up in the boiler for Red Alliance at the conclusion of the autonomous period, now into teleoperated. We see 2 rotors turning for Red already. 177 dropping fuel onto the field. Will they make use of it, or are they just taking away the advantage for their alliance partner? Not sure. Apple Pie collecting a gear. Off they go. A little bit of a traffic jam. 131 hitting both of their alliance partners on their way to collect the gear. Does not seem to affect either of them. 177 drops the gear on the ground. They'll pick that up and try again, trying to position on the center pin. Meanwhile, Blue Alliance about to finish off the 3rd rotor. Puts them in great position to get 4 rotors turning in this match and earn that extra rank point. Apple Pie around the corner. Looks like they've got their fuel pickup mechanism on. They've turned it off on their way to go and collect the gear. And Blue Alliance now looking like they might need 4 left to enable that 4th rotor. Red Alliance right behind them. They've got 3 rotors turning. They're working on the 4th. Loose gears down here, but 177 can pick up, a little bit of a grabbing match right there between 177 and the Aluminum Falcons, both looking to collect the same gear. And the Falcons drop the gear, trying to position it on the left-hand peg. They managed to put it up now. 30 seconds remaining. We've got 3 rotors turning each for Red, 3 rotors for Blue. Red Alliance looks like it may need 2 more gears to be able to enable. Oh, they've got an issue. The peg did not get returned to the field, so we'll see if they put that 1 gear on or if they go for the 50 points. Looks like they're going to do both. There goes Apple Pie up into the sky. And we'll see if 131, they can't quite make it. 39.58, just under the pressure plate on the davit. So this will be 2 up for Red, 2 up for Blue, 4 rotors turning for Blue. And we'll have your official results up in a moment. It is very close, but right now looks like advantage Blue Alliance. Here we go. Official results up now. Airships take flight. Burst through the ceiling of the Whittemore Arena, and boom, it's Blue Alliance across the line. With 298 points and 3 rank points, this is going to preserve the #1 position for 2168. They will hang on to that. Aluminum Falcons and their alliance partners will be elevated as well. No rank points for the Red Alliance.
Check 2, check 1, 2. Mr. Price is right. We'll be back momentarily. He had to take a phone call. But we are here at qualification match number 108. On the Red Alliance, we have 6329.
From Bucksport High School in Bucksport, Maine, it's the Bucks Wrath.
Working with our FTAs on their robot, it's 999.
From Cheshire High School in Cheshire, Connecticut, Mecha Rams.
And rounding out the Red Alliance is 716.
From the Housatonic Valley Regional High School in Falls Village, Connecticut, Who's C-Tex?
Making my way to the Blue Alliance, we have 5687.
From the Baxter Academy for Science and Technology in Portland, Maine, the Outliers.
In the middle is 6690.
From the Merrimack Valley High School in Pennacook, New Hampshire, MV Robo Pride.
And our last competitor is 3623.
From Fitchburg and Leominster High Schools in Leominster, Massachusetts, Terror Bots.
As we are waiting for this last red robot to connect with the field, let's give one more round of applause for the boys and girls in black and white, our zebras, our referees, ensuring fair play throughout this entire competition. Led by head zebra referee, Denson Dave Gorick. Airfield is clear. Pilots prepare for flight. Drivers behind the line. 3, 2, 1, go!
And we see Mecha Rams and we see Outliers looking to deliver in that center peg, but we see side gear action. Both sides, we'll see if any of them can be elevated to the airship. We see one up for red. Blue Alliance unable to deliver. Interesting strategy of 5687 Outliers pushing the MV Robo Pride out into the neutral zone. Robots in motion. We can see Terror Bots looking to defend, trying to slow down Who's C-Tex. does not seem to have made any impact. Who's C-Tex delivering? 2 rotors turning now for red. We've got 2 rotors now turning for blue. We have 1 rotor turning for blue. And we see 1 gear remaining for the train. Now we see more than enough cranks on the crank to get that second rotor turning, and now the third rotor is turning for blue. Red still needs 2 more gears, and it looks like they are going up onto the airship right now. No fuel in play. There's a couple of fuel elements on the field at the moment. If you get a chance, take a look at 999's mechanism, Mecharams. They have got, oh, that is a huge hit midfield as they release the fuel. Tony Stark, Iron Man there, he has got some forward velocity. That's a very fast robot, and when it impacts other robots, everybody feels it. You can certainly feel it down here on the field. 40 seconds remaining. There is time to make things happen. Looks like 2 more gears remaining for Red Alliance to get that 4th rotor turning, maybe more than that for Blue. Blue accepting a gear right now from MV Robo Pride. We see Buck's Wrath delivering. They need 1 more to get that going, and ropes are deployed. We'll see if that other, oh, and there it is. Red Alliance, 4 rotors turning. Blue Alliance, 4 rotors turning. They'll each get a rank point, but who's going to get 2 rank points for the win? This is looking close right now. We've got 1 up for Blue. We've got 2 up for Red, and we've got almost engaged, 63-29, not quite triggering the davit. We see 3 up for Blue. This looks like a tie, but we need to defer to the FTAs and the referees on 1 more robot climb. We'll have your official results up in a moment. So for the Red Alliance, 63-29 will be awarded the climb. And we will have your official results coming up now. That tie will likely not stand. And here we go. Airships take flight, burst through the ceiling. And over the line it is now the Red Alliance. Those 50 points making the difference. They will earn 3 rank points. This will move 63-29 up into the number 6 position. Buck's Wrath had been at 11 before. Blue Alliance will earn 1 rank point, oh so valuable, but not 3. So this will have downward motion for the Blue Alliance teams.
All right, James, let's get ready to introduce our teams for our next match. And let's welcome right now in blue from Brookline, New Hampshire, they are the Force Team.
From Hollis Brookline High School in Hollis, New Hampshire, with their robot Zeppelin, the Force Team.
And look at these guys right here, the cool-looking vets. Let's welcome 2342.
From the 4-H of Greater Nashua in Nashua, New Hampshire, with their robot, the Steam Phoenix, it is Team Phoenix.
And rounding out the alliance, let's welcome, they are TJ Squared.
From the Bridgewater Raynham Regional High School in Bridgewater, Massachusetts, with their robot Jet Fuel, TJ Squared.
All right, now we're over here in the Blue Alliance. Let's welcome in teal. They are the Storm Gears 5422.
From the Middlesex County Robotics Club in Westford, Massachusetts, with their robot LeBrown Curry, Storm Gears FRC.
And in the center of this alliance in black, they are 2648 Infinite Loop.
From Messalonsky High School in Oakland, Maine, with their robot Henry Hippo, Infinite Loop.
And finally from Walpole, let's welcome Team 1153.
From Walpole High School in Walpole, Massachusetts, with their robot, the Minuteman, Robo Rebels.
Pilots prepare for flight.